Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 15. We had half of an episode and half of a tell-all. So it's called Where Is Love and the Tell-All Part 1. So we're just going to get right on to it. Yeah, things really went down in this episode. So I'm going to start with Nicole and Mahood. So we haven't seen them for a couple weeks. So in this episode, Nicole and Mahood, they're planning on coming to America. Mahood has this spousal visa interview in a couple weeks or whatever. And he agreed to come to America, to live with Nicole. They go out somewhere in this episode. And they decide, and Nicole, they're discussing their move, and Nicole, they're also arguing about the clothing and stuff, and how Mahood's anger affects her and everything. Well, I guess Mahood like sells things for his job, I forget, or whatever. And to one of his clients, he was telling this female client that, did you make it home safely, or something like that. Did you make it home safely, and like how are you, or something like that. And I guess him and Nicole had gotten into an argument one day, and whenever they fight, he leaves his phone, and Mahood just goes out somewhere for a long time and then comes back late. And Nicole decides to go snoop through his phone, and she saw messages to him and this girl saying that, I hope you make it home safely, what is your age, or stuff like that. And she was furious. And she was like, you got some explaining to do. Now, Mahood did own up to it. At first, he was playing it off like it was nothing. He did own up to it because he felt like he was crossing the line and stuff. And Nicole surprisingly forgave him, but here's, at this point with Nicole Mahood, he manipulates her so much. Nicole is afraid to do and say a lot of things. I feel like at this point now she is afraid. And we've seen that in the tell-all, and I'll get to the tell-all in a minute. But, she called him out, that's great. And he's like, oh, I love you, honey, and everything. She's like, I love you too, I'm lucky to have you, and everything. She is just, at this point, is just afraid to really, really stick up for herself. Yes, she can say that she don't like it when he comments about her clothing, but she ain't really doing nothing about it. She's not doing nothing about it. Mahood manipulates her and, says the things that she wants to hear, and that's why they're still together. And it's just, it's just mind blowing. Nicole's 38 years old, and she's in in a submissive relationship, and I don't like submissive. So yeah, that was Nicole and Mahood. We'll get back to them in a few. Next couple is Jen and Rishi. So Jen and Rishi, as we know, last week they broke up. They broke up because Rishi's parents don't approve of the age difference. Jen says, stop wasting my time. This episode, Rishi meets up with his astrologer, and the astrologer said this relationship is just basically over. There's nothing else much you can do or we can do at this point. Rishi was just like, you know what, I'm going to continue the fight to get Jen back. So he meets up with Jen one last time, and Jen is like, you got to let me go, and I got to let you go. Basically, stop wasting my time right now. It was fun. Jen says she has no regrets whatsoever with this. But it's over. It's basically over. He had his chance. I feel bad for Rishi though, because you had Jen's nosy ass friends come in and spill the beans. Then, he wasn't on it. He didn't stick up for Jen when it came to his parents. He needed to stick up for her, and that's probably why Jen is upset and why Jen broke up with him, because he needed to stick up to him. Dude, you gotta stick up for your woman. You gotta stick up for your woman. If she didn't do nothing wrong, you gotta stick up for your woman. Okay. So that's just my take on that. So yeah, I mean that was basically what we seen from Jen and Rishi. Next couple is Gabe and Isabel. So Gabe and Isabel, they got married. They got married. They got married. They got married. Gabe and Isabel got married without the sister Monica did not show up. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He just said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna let it ruin my day." Isabel was kind of curious on why she didn't show up, but Gabe was just like, I don't want to talk about it." But she's like, okay, it's our wedding day. Let's not let that ruin it and everything. So they had a nice, wonderful ceremony. They read their vows in Spanish and stuff. It was just beautiful. Isabel looked amazing. Like she really looked amazing. Like I was, yeah. It was a touching wedding. I felt bad that the sister didn't show up, but at least the mom was there, supportive, and Isabel's family was there to support. So that was a beautiful wedding. Gabe and Isabel, congratulations. Favorite couple of the whole season. We'll see what they're at coming when the other parts of the tell all air. So yeah, that was Gabe and Isabel. And last but not least was Chris and Jamie. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me talk to y'all about Chris and Jamie. So last week we left off in a cliffhanger with Jamie's upset that Chris has not shown her much time and everything. 2 weeks turned into 5 months. And apparently Chris's son had gotten arrested and was involved with some drugs, and she had to stay longer than normal. And she missed Jamie's birthday. And you remember last week they were celebrating Jamie's birthday a little bit later because of that. But, Jamie had wanted to talk to Chris about it, and then all of a sudden it just turned into a big screaming match. And when Chris is confronted, she likes to storm away. Like, she's like, lower your voice with me. I'm done. And walked away. So in this episode, they came back. She came back, cooled off her man, came back. She's like, are you going to let me talk? She's like, Chris, I always let you talk. Let me talk. And it's like, no, I always let you talk. Let me talk and everything. You got to let me respond to what you're saying and everything. She's like, my son got in trouble. I needed there to be there for my son and everything. Jamie's like, I understand that, but I'm also your wife too, and everything. And, they started fighting over money and like, well, you're not working, or you just started working and you're not helping at all. Chris claims that she's been sending Jamie all her money, and Jamie's saying that's not true. I don't know who to really believe. I think Chris does send her a little bit of money, but not all of it. And I kept this quiet the whole season about Chris and Jamie. I do feel like Chris, there was rumors speculating, and I don't want, and I'm not, rumors were speculating about Chris and what she possibly could be doing that we may not see. I'm not going to say the direct thing that's been going around, but I don't know. I'm starting to really like see what some of those other people are saying. What possibly, again, I'm not going to say what it is. I think everybody who's following Chris would know what I'm talking about, and I wasn't going to say nothing about it until it was confirmed. I mean, and it's still not confirmed, so I'm not going to say fully what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point, just based on what I'm seeing. Because Chris is like, she's like really playing victim. Like, it's always it's her neck, it's her son, it's her back, it's her narcolepsy. It's always something with Chris that is just making her just not look good on herself. So once again, her and Jamie are fighting, and then Chris once again storms off and says, I'm done. I'm packing my stuff and leaving. We're done. So she gets her purse and says, I'm done. Find someone else to pay your bills and everything. Jamie's upset and crying, and she's like, I tried. And then, like, she followed Jen to the car, and not Jen, sorry. She followed Chris to the car, and she was talking to producers like, I can't win and nothing on that. And Chris was just like, get away from me. I got over here to get away from you and everything. And they started arguing. Next thing you know, Jamie was trying to get into the car, and Chris is still screaming at her, and Chris actually pushed her, physically pushed her, and everything. And Jamie was like, you told the producers, like, you see how crazy she is? This just proves that she's crazy and not me. Yeah, that was messed up. That was messed up. And you know what? I've been Team Jamie all season, and I'm officially fully Team Jamie. The fact that your wife pushed you like that, like, and she pushed her pretty hard too. And I'm surprised, like, Jamie didn't, like, reach back in and just started beating her up, like, for that. That push was too aggressive. The whole situation was just aggressive. I think Chris overreacted. She doesn't like conflict. She doesn't like to be told about herself and everything. Instead of addressing the issues like an adult and everything. I know you're frustrated, but that is your wife, and you put hands on your wife in a physical, demeaning way. No respect whatsoever. I feel so bad for Jamie. She was like, after that, every time I look at Chris, it's just like I just see hate now. You just see hate, and you shouldn't feel that way when you're wanting to spend the rest of your life with somebody and everything. So that was sad. That was sad to see. And then Jamie just started bawling, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad for Jamie. So that was Jamie and Chris. So now we're at the tell-all. Now we're getting right into the tell-all. Gabe is just like, Gabe comes in. He's just like, I want to see Debbie. I want to see Nicole. He was like, I don't want to see Mahu or Chris. He's like, I don't really like Chris because it's always her neck. It's always something. She's always sick. And he was just like, Danielle comes in. She was like, oh, I'm going to have to defend Johan, our relationship. Everyone expects me to cook and clean for him, and that's not the case or whatever. I was like, oh, here we go with that. Debbie comes in looking flashy and stuff, looking nice and stuff. Jen comes in and everything. They had a nice little meeting. Everybody's meeting each other. Nicole comes in. Nicole and Gabe had a nice little chat and everything. And, Gabe was just, told Nicole's, he's always saying something about you, basically. And she's like, are you going to say something to him? And he didn't answer. Well, they didn't show his answer or whatever. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. So we got the tell-all. We started the host, Sean Robinson, who I adore. I don't know why other YouTubers can't stand her. I love her. I adore her. She does a fantastic job. She gets the tell-all started, meets everybody. And we kicked it off with Debbie and Osama. So, Debbie and Osama, we all know that they broke up, and Osama just basically only wanted a green card. So, they bring out Debbie's son, Julian, and the minute he walked out on, he was just ready to go. He's a cop too, so he was just waiting on the sidelines, just ready to go. He was just ready to go full force. He comes out here and goes right over to Osama's camera. It's like, boy, you better be lucky you're not here right now. You mess with my mother, you're gonna have to deal with me. You're on my turf now, boy. And everything. I was like, oh shoot. Here we go. And everything. And Debbie's son Julian just laid it into Osama. I guess Osama was sending Debbie literally thousands of text messages saying, I love you, I miss you, could get back with me and everything. And then he gonna say that he doesn't love her anymore and stuff. He's like, I love Debbie, but I don't love Debbie no more. And everything. And Julian's just like, you're lying, you wanted a green card, you're full of BS, dude. I'm a cop, I can smell BS a mile away, and you're the biggest one here and everything. All the other cast members were like, yes. Now, except for Johan. Johan was like, I kind of understand Osama's side because, he needs help, and I feel like he felt like Debbie could really help him and stuff because his country is not the best here. And I understand that too, but just the way he went about it and how his wording was, that was not cool. So Julian and Osama is just laying in it to Osama. And, Sean asked, Debbie, are you going to are you officially done with Osama if he reached back to you? And Debbie was like, Osama would have to climb mountains for me to respond. And Sean was like, well, what mountains would that be? And Debbie was like, he's gonna have to buy me an airline ticket. And everybody was like, oh, nope, 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 not an airline ticket. Nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. You gotta cut him off, cut him off now, and everything. And Julian told Osama, like, put on your big boy pants, get a job or something. And Osama was like, I don't want to get a job. I like to sell my art and stuff, and my poetry art and whatever. And like nobody understands. And then he said something about like, I only want to sell my art to people who understand me. And everybody, all the other customers, was like, what? If you want to sell art, you sell it to anybody, not just like, even Gabe was like, Gabe was like, Osama, I was on your side until you said that. You got you got to sell to anybody. And he was like, well, you don't understand. You're not an artist and everything. And he's like, I don't want a job. I want to sell all of this and all that. And he just sounded so bad. And then Julian even told him to go get some dental work and stuff. That was cold, but it was kind of funny. But that was kind of cold. So yeah, like nobody showed Osama any mercy for Osama. So yeah, that was Debbie and Osama. that was classic. I applaud Debbie's son Julian for that. Although my only take on Debbie's son Julian, my only critique is he is a cop, and I know he's looking at her in this situation. He's looking after his mom and stuff, which is fantastic. Nothing against that, but I have a feeling that like if anybody ran into him like in a traffic stop or like altercation type feel, I feel like he'd be one of those mean cops that people would not like. I don't know. I kind of get that mean cop vibe from him that you see that you don't want to see on the news and stuff. So I hope he's not like that. But just how the way he speaks, I'm kind of concerned about that with his profession. So I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, that's the only thing that got me out of Julian. So anyway, that was Debbie and Osama. Next couple they went to we're back to Nicole and Mahood. So they talked about his visa interview. He has it in a couple days. Nicole didn't want to wait too long over there. She said she wanted to get back to America, to LA, to get a job, get work in, and get stable. So when he gets approved, we could be ready to go. And then they started talking about the cultural differences, and then Gabe started questioning him a lot, like, because apparently, like, they talked about a lot of what ifs. What if you have children? What are your children going to be? We talked about Nicole converting into Muslim, and they realized, well, if you guys have kids, are they going to be Muslim? And Mahood was like, yeah, they're going to be Muslim. They're going to be whatever I tell them, or something like that. And then Gabe comes in and says, like, okay, but what if if you're living in America, it's a free country, so like they can choose whatever they want, right? She's like, no, they'll do as I tell them. And then Gabe just asked her, like, why are you going to force all that on them and everything? Mahood was like, I'm not forcing. Why are you sitting forcing? This is between me and my wife, not your business. And then Gabe was like, you literally press her all the time. Like, you and don't say you don't, because you do. Like, you tell her what to wear all the time and this and that. And Mahood just got really defensive, started cussing him out, and just walked off the set. And then you got Nicole. Remember earlier in the video I said Nicole is scared too. Is kind of scared. She's like, oh, honey buns, Mahood, it's okay. Tell your story, baby. It's okay. And all of that. And then she starts crying as Mahood gets angry and goes off. And that's where we left off. Maybe it may not be Gabe's place to say, but it's the tell-all. And Gabe has legitimate questions. So I see both sides. I see why Mahood got upset, but somebody has to put Mahood in his place. And Nicole ain't gonna do it, and nobody in Egypt is gonna do it. Somebody's gonna have to, and now he can't take it, and he stormed off like a little kid. So we see in the previews next week, I'm cutting him like screaming and cussing. I'm coming back to get him and everything. This and that. I'm kind of scared about that because I have a feeling that he's gonna say something really below the belt. It's a tell all. You're gonna insult whatever, but I hope he does not say anything like phobic. Like, I don't want him to say anything racist. I hope he doesn't say nothing transphobic to him or anything, because he looked pretty furious. So I hope not. But that's what I meant by Nicole being scared. She's just like, he got mad, and she was just like, "Oh, honey bun, it's okay, Mahu, tell your story, all that." And I'm like, Nicole, stop. Just stop, please. You're not in right now. You're not in Egypt right now, so you can. And also Nicole, we actually see some skin from Nicole. Her dress, she had a full dress. She had a full slide here, and the other side completely empty like that. We finally saw some skin from Nicole. So I'm just like, oh, when I saw that, I was like, oh, Mahuda's just going to have a field day with that one. And he was like, I didn't choose it. She's wearing it, whatever. I wouldn't have chose it, but yeah. Anyway, guys, that was it for this episode and the first part of the tell-all. We didn't see much out of Danielle and Johan in this episode. We'll dive more into them next week. There are going to be 3 parts to this tell-all. We just wrapped up part 1. So yeah, we'll have part 2 and part 3 next week. So in the next 2 weeks. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back on tomorrow to recap Love in Paradise, and I even might recap the new show Match Me Abroad. So have a good day, guys. God bless you, and I'll see y'all soon.